In this lesson, we will cover Unit 3, Section 3.2, Greatest Common Factor and Least Common Multiple. In this lesson, you will learn how to determine, using a variety of strategies, the greatest common factor or the least common multiple. First, what is the greatest common factor? The greatest common factor, known as the GCF, of two or more numbers is the greatest factor the numbers have in common. There are three methods that can be used to help find the greatest common factor. First, you can list factors of each number and choose the largest common factor. This is probably the most common method to use. Say, for example, we want to find the GCF of 12 and 18. You will list all the factors from lowest to greatest for 12. You will do the same for 18. As you look through the list, you will find the largest common factor of 12 and 18. Next, method 2, it is a prime factorization of each number, and then multiply the common prime factors. So here, you could use a factor tree for 12 and a factor tree for 18. Once you find the prime factors from your factor tree and your prime factorization, you will multiply only the common prime factors together. In method 3, you use prime factorization and a Venn diagram, very similar to method 2. In the Venn diagram, you will display the common factors in the intersection, which is the overlapping region, and you will show the prime factors for each number. Then you will multiply the factors in the intersection portion of the Venn diagram. Once you get the result, this is the GCF. As we can see from this example, we have the numbers 12 and 18. Prime factorization has already been completed, and we can see the prime factors for 12 will be 2, 2, and 3. The prime factors for 18 will be 2, 3, and 3. However, in order to find the greatest common factor, you will only need to multiply the common prime factors. Therefore, the greatest common factor of 12 and 18 is 2 times 3, which is equal to 6. Next, what is a least common multiple? The least common multiple, known as the LCM, of two or more numbers is the least number that is divisible by each number. Again, there are three methods that can be used to find the lowest common multiple, very similar to the GCF. Method 1, list the multiples of each number and find the smallest common number that appears in both lists. Again, we'll use 12 and 18. List the factors of 12, lowest to highest. Do the same for 18. When you go through the factors, you will find the smallest common number for both 12 and 18. In method 2, write the prime factorization using your factor trees. The LCM is the maximum power of each prime factor. Method 3, use prime factorization and a Venn diagram. Very similar to the greatest common factor, you'll find the prime factors of 12 and 18. You'll multiply all prime factors for both numbers to determine the lowest common multiple. If we look at our example here, the Venn diagram is going to be used to determine the lowest common multiple of 12 and 18. Again, all the prime factors have been found using our prime factorization or the factor trees. 2, 2, and 3 is the prime factors for 12, 2, 3, and 3, prime factors for 18. In order to find the lowest common multiple of 12 and 18, you will multiply all prime factors. So we will have 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, which equals to 36. If you want to simplify that equation, you could say 2 squared times 3 squared equals 36. So as you can see, to find the greatest common factor, you will only multiply the portion in the middle, the intersection. For the least common multiple, you're going to multiply all the prime factors together. In summary, the greatest common factor is the greatest factor the numbers have in common. So again, you could list your numbers out from the lowest to the highest and then find your GCF. You can use prime factorization or a Venn diagram. For the lowest common multiple, it is the least number that is divisible by each number. The same methods can pertain to the LCM as the greatest common factor, but they do have different characteristics. Keep that in mind. It is important that the recognition of prime factors and the prime factors of whole numbers help us in the calculations of the GCF and the lowest common multiple.